So welcome to this video about the oneness of spirit. Now, there was a question asked on YouTube about how our spirit consciousness changes as mediums, but also what was my thoughts on non-dual consciousness compared to dual consciousness, whereas dual consciousness where you just feel separate, and non-dual consciousness where you are feeling connected to many things and all things. Well, as we go on this self-discovery and this realization within our mediumship, and we start to feel within inside of ourselves the spirit within, and the spirit within is different to the mind, and mostly the mind, our mind, keeps us focused on the things that we do, and mainly it's quite narrow in its thinking. It sees things black and white. The mind really feels that we are a part, not a collective, but just one being creating our own pathway within life. And so the mind can be narrow-minded, but when we shift our consciousness, and it's good to have you join me, thank you for your messages, but when you shift your consciousness, into connecting to spirit. So then you realize, well, there's my consciousness, but there's also spirit consciousness. And this shift gives us the realization that we're not alone, that there's more to this consciousness than just us. There's more to this feeling alone to actually being into an interconnective energy. So let's say that when we're going through this understanding of who we are and this understanding of our consciousness and the spirit within, which is really the soul essence of who we are, that itself is an indestructible essence that will continue to live forever. That itself is an indestructible essence that will live forever. So that essence in itself is connected energetically to everything around it. Because we know about quantum physics, where quantum physics is stating that everything is energy. It's starting to realize that. Anyone that's done any energy work or healing work already knows this, that everything is energy and can be altered by a connection of a positive energy. So as you connect and send, say, healing, you're really realizing that there is no distance between you and the person receiving it. So it may be that if you put your hand on someone, you're doing a hands-on healing, you say, oh, there's no distance, I can feel the difference. But when you stand a meter away, the energy is still received. When you are about thousands and thousands of miles away and you send healing to one person, there is no distance. The healing is felt. Now, what we've realized in this new technology, and most of the things, that's what's been going on in life at the moment, is, you know, people have been more separate. We've gone through some periods, some changes within our life. We've gone through this lockdown, but yet people have stayed in contact via Zoom, via programs, via the internet. So there's this interconnectedness being experienced via Zoom. Now, what we've noticed as well, the big shifts and changes, is mediumship can be done online via a Zoom program. People have been doing demonstrations of mediumship. It doesn't matter if they're thousands of miles apart, there is no distance. So really the shift in consciousness, and that's what we come to realize on this self-discovery of mediumship, is we discover that within inside of ourselves that we are connected. So even you watching this, we are connected. There is no difference to you or to me. And so we connect in the consciousness of the oneness of spirit, what I would call it. And it's not just the oneness of spirit when you've got the oneness of spirit with the spirit world, because that is a realization that whenever you shift your thoughts to the spirit world, they are there. And when you shift your thoughts to the spirit world, they're there. So that's like, there's always a connection. It's only the realization that there's a connection, so that you are connected. You're not individual. You are a whole. Now, if we were to sit here and just become aware of our body and become aware of our mind, we would be in, that dual consciousness, that individuality of, right, this is it, that I'm sitting here, this is me. I am my name, I am my body, but really you are more than just your name that's been given to you, and you are more than your body. You are an energetic experience that is connected to all things. And so this realization and shift of consciousness, it's like when we shift to the spirit world, we become aware, hey, hold on, we're connected to spirits and guidance, and we're connected to higher inspirers and guides. And so in that way, we realize we are connected. The only thing that changed was we moved out of the individual mind into the opening of we are connected mind. So when we do that with energy, we shift ourselves to the energy, and to receive energy, to bring energy through. It can take a couple of seconds to realize that there is a divine essence of energy right behind us, and we can feel it, and we can receive it, and we can experience it. And the only thing we're doing is becoming aware of it. And I've done this with students via Zoom, and I've done this experiment before, so maybe you can try it yourself, to sit there and just to feel and experience. Imagine this column of light behind you, and just feel how it connects to you. And as you do that, it's like instantaneously you start to feel tingling sensations, the energy. So where there is thought, or where there is that connection, or the realization that we're connected to an infinite energy of healing whenever we need it. So this might be for some people quite difficult to understand, but I'm speaking from my own experiences, that shift of consciousness only needs to take 1 second. That shift of consciousness is just realizing I'm not just my mind, body, or name. I am an energy that connects to all things quite easily and within 1 second. So, and really, that when we're realizing that we're connected, and this is the whole thing, it's really our mind has suddenly realized we're connected to a greater spirit than what we are in our whole. So in that way, we're already connected to a web of energy, global consciousness, guides and inspirers, connected to healing energy, divine energy. And even if you would consider yourself being connected to God, the God source, or a divine energy that you may believe in, whatever you believe in, just being aware that you're connected, you're plugged in, is shifting your consciousness. And that is really, when you look at the individual going through this process of understanding that, okay, I can do mediumship, I can connect to spirit, I can connect to the spirit world, I can connect to guides. But really what I'm saying is, we're realizing now more and more we are already connected. We are never alone. We're always connected. There's no distance between my energy field and your energy field. The only distance is the realization that we are connected. And that is something that you can bring out into the world. You can bring out into your own practice. You can bring it out into your groups, into your thing. But really, when we realize that if we were going to, let's say, link in psychically with each other, what do we do with our mind? We're like, we'll probably make some idea that light's going out, that we're connecting, but all we're doing is letting our mind know that we're connected. But in truth, and energetically seen in the research, we're already connected. So all it is letting our mind realize that we're connected. And when we realize that we're connected, then we can receive information. And when we realize that we're connected to a divine energy, then we can receive healing energy. And when we realize that we're connected to spirit, then we actually start to bring through spirit communication. So the amazing thing is we don't walk around like this all the time, open, connected to all things, because it wouldn't feel complete. You wouldn't be feeling in the here and now. because you'd be more feeling in the fluidity of connected to all things. If you were in that state all the time, you'd have a hard job doing your shopping, because you'd have a hard job concentrating on foods and things. You say, yeah, but I'm connected to a divine love, a divine experience at the moment. I really don't mind about food. So it's really learning to shift your consciousness into that consciousness of oneness, and realizing that you are connected to that oneness of spirit, and also learning to shift yourself back to the here and now and say, right, okay, I can do my shopping, I can organize my life, I can get these things done. All these things that I can get done within my life, I can do. So there's got to be a wave in and a wave out. You see, a lot of people feel that when we're following the spiritual journey, or when we're following mediumship, we have to be continually in that vibe of mediumship, and we don't. We need to become aware of what is our individual consciousness. Like, what do we like? I like to go shopping. I like to have these certain foods. I like healthy foods. That's the individual consciousness. And then when you open up to more, and you're going to open up to divine energy, you may be you may suddenly receive information that's like, oh, the energy of love and connectedness, that we're all connected. And that inspiration, the inspirational words, come through that connected with guidance, with divine source, that can take a few seconds, when you really feel that we have all seem to be going through the same things at the same time, when there's a global shift or a global impact on the world. And then when we're in divine mind, we'd be like, oh, right, so we've all got to go through this. Wow, isn't this divine that we're having this world experience that is shifting our consciousness, thoughts, and perception of our belief system? That's when we're in divine consciousness. But if we're thinking about the world, things that are going on, we'll be like, yeah, but isn't it bad for me? So you see the difference, where as we shift to our own micro feelings about it, it's like, oh, it's pretty bad for me. I mean, I'd like to have my life different. I'd like things to be different. Then we're in that individual consciousness. But when we shift to that little bit more, and we step back, it's what I call stepping back energetically, and just feel and experience that divine energy, that divine consciousness, then we start to feel, all right, so there's a lot of us going through this. So then it's not just about me. So then you start to believe there's a lot of us going through it. Okay, so there's more. Okay, so more worldwide. And you speak to more people, you realize, okay, so there's like a global shift or global understanding, that it's not just about the individual, but it's about more. It's about the divine energy that's shifting us and moving us. And sometimes it's really difficult to take your hands off the wheel and say, I want to steer my life, I want to make it happen, I'm going to manifest it. But when you actually let go of the wheel, and you let the divine start to move through you, and start to move through your life, and it feels like it's moving with grace, then you start to experience the joy and understanding that there's a divine consciousness, a divine energy that is connected to you, and a part of you, and a part of everyone, that is moving all things. Now, the positive thing, because I've been talking about things that are negative, think about the universe being moved by one energy in a certain way, that the planet can actually rotate on its axis to keep an atmosphere, to create air, plants and food and sun, so that we can experience life as we know it. And not one of those planets is colliding into each other, not the intelligence of that energy that is moving all things in this world, the intelligence that grows different species of food that we can actually experience, that the plants have things like photosynthesis, which creates the chlorophyll within, which moves them and creates more growth within the plants, which makes them edible for us. In that way, you can see how life is connected to a divine consciousness, where all things are moved around. And whether you want to call that a divine universal consciousness, or a divine universal light, that light is a part of us. For the moment that you were born, there was a droplet of energy dropped into your body, and all of a sudden there was life. And not keeping yourself separate from that is opening you up to the possibilities of a divine experience. And that divine experience is very individual, depending on whether you're in your mind or within the opening and stepping back, that eagle's eye, that eagle's look at life, and just experience the experience and enrichment of a divine consciousness moving through you. And that's when you start to live your life into what I call more living in the human beingness than in the human doingness. Now, yes, we have to go to work, and yes, we have to do all the things in life that we do to actually fit into this life that's been created for us. But you can live an ordinary life in a fantastic, extraordinary way if you learn to shift your consciousness and take time to realize that you're plugged in to a divine consciousness and you're not separate. You're certainly in the oneness of spirit, the oneness of spirit of you. Not only that soul spirit that was that ignition of life that was put into you when you were born on this planet, but also realizing that you're connected to a divine essence of energy that actually connects the whole planet. So I'm going to leave you there with these contemplational thoughts. Any more questions about this, or any more questions about things that are intriguing you about your mediumship, please put them in down below. I'll get back to you in my own time. But really, just take care, have a good one, and I look forward to the next video.